What's going on, gamers? Here we are back with some more Outriders. Today is Saturday, meaning I'm going to bring you the full build guide for this fella right here. Now with this one, I've tried to give him a little theme. We've done most things, I'm not going to lie. With this guy, I've tried to make him a bit of a more all-rounder. You're going to want to shoot your gun, you're going to want to be hitting things at distance, you're going to be wanting to pop in your heat waves, and of course, all important at the moment, the faserbeam. Now I haven't spec'd into faserbeam anywhere near as much as some of my other builds, but it's just a nice all-round build. You feel like you can do a lot of everything and it all comes together really nicely. Now what I'm going to do is, as soon as I rotate my camera to the right way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck on a short clips of my kind of run, and if you enjoy the build, the full build guide will be up next.
Looks like tank fighters have already set up camp. The monument's clear. It's out the pod.
You did it, Outrider. And Kang's fighters are on the run, for the time being.
Right, so hopefully from that footage you can tell whether or not this is the kind of build for you. It's a very versatile and a very nice all-round build. Like I said, a lot of getting in their face, a lot of melee, a lot of hitting heat waves close to them. Everything is constantly on fire. I've chucked the faserbeam just because at the moment, to be perfectly honest, it's kind of one of the best moves going. It's really nice, you don't have to worry about it too much, and it does a fair chunk of change even when you're not speccing into it too much. Now, this fella right there, if you're worried about the fact there was 3 pyromancers in that video clip, don't be. Honestly, as far as I'm aware, I don't think anyone else was using burnt at. I know one of them definitely wasn't. I'm not 100% sure if the other one was, but most times we weren't in the same location. But yeah, this fella works really well, he's a lot of fun, and it's just a little bit different to what you're probably used to. So the weapon we're using, and like I said, I'm trying to theme this one a little bit, so for the first time ever I'm using a Shellrog's Excrescence. Now this right here comes with ultimate burning bullets, and I've chucked on Fortress, just to make sure we've got enough damage in our build, and of course it is just straight up the top dog for mods at the moment. Now we've got a bit of crit damage, a bit of status power, and skills life leech. This build is very versatile. The reason for that is I've been able to run through and I don't really need a defensive mod because everything's on fire constantly. Now if you wanted to, if you saw from my clip, I did actually put on a revolver that's got moaning winds in case you want to empty it at the start of the game and then go in and pop it whenever you want. I didn't use it because I tend not to use it in my runs, just to kind of show you without it as such. Just over here, and we've got 3 pieces of the acari, pretty much the standard, the head, the torso. Now the headgear has got the normal mod with fire tsunami. This one just increases the heat wave and it's just great all round. Next up we've got Captain Hunter. That makes it so that we hit a little bit harder on those elites, which we really need. Just over here, and we've got Untamed Power. Now, Untamed Power is one of my favourite mods in the game, and it makes it really versatile with this build, meaning you'll want to be up close and personal and putting a lot of melees into your rotation and just hitting everything with kind of heat waves really close. Using skills deals 46,704 damage to enemies within a 5 meter radius around you. The damage is equal to 30% of your anomaly power. Now, the thing to remember, because your anomaly power is going to be going through the roof, through a certain bit of the skill tree and other things we've got on, you're going to have much harder hits than that. Probably around about the 140,000 mark, give or take. It's a big chunk of change, and it's just nice to be in people's face and either punch them to death or flame them to death, because this is very much a kind of damage over time, burn effect, keep everything on fire build. And just down the bottom here, tidal wave. Heatwave, the skill can be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown. Now, there's no need to tell you why that's good, because you've probably seen an Acari build before, meaning you get at least 2 heat waves and then you get burnt out, and of course you'll be applying a lot more damage to everything. So just down here we're going to have Anomaly and Echo as our tier 3 mod, because pretty much we've got to change off the bottom one, and we've changed the bottom mod to Burnt Out. Heatwave, like I said earlier, damaged enemies take 25% more damage for 8 seconds. Nigh on most builds will have this, unless you're trying a kind of variant of sorts, but most pyromancers that are going for Anomaly will have this on. Just down here, and we've got any gloves that you can find with Anomaly power, cooldown reduction and state. In the top slot I've gone for Unstoppable Force. Increase your anomaly power by 50% of your resistance piercing. This basically boosts you by 25k anomaly power, and it's really nice just to give you a little bit of extra chunk of change of damage. If you did want to swap this out, you can put your own preference in here. You really can. Whatever you like, chuck in this slot. I was just doing that to give myself a little bit extra damage. Just down the bottom is Bullet Kindling. Deal 20% more damage against enemies afflicted by burn. Everything's on fire, everything's burning, 20% constant, 100% uptime. So just down here for the boots, we've got Anomaly power, close range damage and long range damage. This is terrible, to be perfectly honest. You're going to want Anomaly power, you're going to want skill cooldown, and finally you're going to want that status power. Get as much status as you can, it's really going to help the burn effect. Other than that, what I like on it is Ride the Wave. This gives you the 3rd application of Heatwave. Also, twice as hot. Whenever a skill is used, inflict 39,901 damage to all enemies afflicted with burn. Now, you might not think that's much, but honestly, where everything is on fire constant, where you've got those 3 heat waves, where you're applying the fire even over longer distances with your Shellrog's excrescence, it means whenever you're using those heat waves or punching or doing any kind of a skill, you're going to be hitting them as well. Really nice, and like I said, it brings this build together very well as a kind of all-round build. Now next up, and we've got Heatwave, Feed the Flames, and finally Faserbeam. Now, Feed the Flames I would try to chuck out first whenever you can. It's going to boost your anomaly power, and as soon as you do that, chuck out as many heat waves as you can. Once they're applied, if there's a big baddie that's not been taken down, then pop in with your phaser beam. It's a little bit tougher to use, so if you did want to, like I said, if you wanted to take out the one that boosts your anomaly power in Unstoppable Force, then you could very well do something with your phaser beam. So you could either give it a bit of extra damage, or you could make it a shorter cooldown, or you could boost its radius. Out of all 3 of those, I would definitely say probably boost the radius if you want to spec more into phaser beam. Now lastly, but definitely not least, is our skill tree. We're bopping down the bottom to go to anomaly power. Just down here we're going skill damage, more anomaly power, weapon damage and anomaly power, and we're doing that to grab the wildfire. Decrease all your skill cooldown by 10%. Grab some health, and just over here into burn afflicted on enemies, deals 20% more damage. Like I said, we're going for a little bit of a versatile all-round build, in your face and trying to keep everything alight. That's what's going to give us our health regen as well. Next up, and we've got more health. Bopping up to the top here, we've got the moment burn ends on an enemy, inflict ash status. Just up here, a little bit of extra damage for our weapon, which doesn't help us in the slightest, but it does get us to the top mod. Activating your immobilized skills increases your anomaly power by 45% for 10 seconds. This is going to go hand in hand with our other mods and with our build, meaning we're going to get a lot of damage from being close to people, using our mods, and of course hitting all of our skills. Just down the bottom here, and we've got increase your resistance so that we don't fall over when we're in amongst all of the bigger ads, especially the broodmothers. A little bit more health, a little bit more extra damage for our anomaly power. Just down here, we're going to make the burn last even longer. Like I said, we're trying to focus a little bit on burn, so we've grabbed this one. Next up, a bit more health. Just over here, increase your skill leech. We've had to bop away from here, unfortunately, one of my favourite trees, but because we haven't got damage absorber on, there was no point speccing into this as such, because it just wouldn't make much of a difference with the increase. So next up, we've got double skill leech when under 30% of max health. Just over here, enemies afflicted by burn receive 15% more damage. And last but definitely not least, activate and ignite skills increases your armor piercing by 45% and resistance piercing by 45% for 10 seconds. Now, the resistance piercing is absolutely amazing, and of course we're not using the volcanic rounds, so we do get that armor pierce as well. All in all, really nice. You're not going to be doing the hugest chunk of change from your actual weapon, but the burn damage will stack up. And with this build, it's very much an all-round build. Like I said, a lot of your things are going to come together to do a lot of damage, not just one move or skill. Right, all you gamers, I hope that's helped a few of you out. I'm not going to lie, we've done a lot of builds now. We really have. This one's just a kind of versatile, all-round fun build to hopefully mix it up a little bit and have a bit of fun. I found this worked best in a group. You can do it solo, but I like this one in a group best. It worked really well, and everything is always on fire. As always, guys and girls, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on next day.